Caitlin, you recently finished 7th in the LCS ladies event. Congratulations on that.
Thank you so much, Greg. Thank you. I was happy to spend a day playing with the ladies. I think ladies events are important, but those ladies got one over on me, Craig. They got me good.
They got you?
I got 7th, right? So $300 buy it. I get $1,300. 1,000 profit. I'm happy. I'm not even done getting my ticket slip at the cage before the floor guy walks over and goes, "The ladies want to talk chop." They did an ICM 6-way chop the moment I was eliminated, and they got me so good. I have nothing but respect for it. Good game.
Wow. That's pretty brutal. You remember when we did a top 5, how to know you're the fish? When they talk chop the moment you're eliminated from tournament.
I mean, like, we're only talking about like a value of maybe like $400 or $500 I would have gotten had we chopped 7 ways. So it's like it's very easy to just laugh about it and be like, they got me. But it was very funny that I hadn't even left the cage.
We can go back and edit that episode and have like a 1B on that list. It's like they talk chop the moment you're eliminated.
I feel like that's the opposite of thinking I'm a fish if they want to chop the moment I'm gone.
We got the pro out. Let's chop it up now.
I would think so. Yeah. I mean, I would think they would want you in there.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to back you out of that.
I don't know. I think I see it the opposite way. It's like, well, okay, now that we have that person out, let's go ahead and spread the value. But there was no point in giving value to that person that was going to bust.
Do you think there was any discussion while you were like there and just like behind your back?
They were all texting each other.
The hilarious part was one lady who was smoking a cigarette on the break. She came up to me and she's like, "So what do we do? Do we chop now?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I mean, anyone can bring up a chop whenever they want at this point in the tournament. I mean, I wouldn't object to it. I'm the short stack right now. So yeah, if you want to chop, I'd bring it up. But I wasn't going to chop. I thought I still had a fighting chance. You know, I had 8 big blinds. I was going to make a run the best I could, see if I could find a double, get lucky." But anyway, welcome to the Texas Poker Experience, y'all. My name is Caitlin Komeski. I'm joined here by my co-host, Craig Sear. Today, we have a very lovely guest in town, a friend of the pod. He claims to have listened to all of our episodes, which makes me so happy and lovely inside. Thank you, thank you. He is a partial owner of the lodge, and he is an OG YouTube vlogger. He invented the space. Let's give him the credit. He's a cinematic king, and now a WPT ambassador. Please welcome to the pod, Andrew Neeme. Welcome, Andrew.
Hi everyone out there in Texas Poker Experience audience land.
Thank you so much for making time for us, Andrew.
It's great to be here. Yes, I have listened to all these episodes. Good to hang out with you guys.
Cool. Wanted to talk a little of recent lodge history, this LCS wrapping up. Lots of overlay talk. So overall, the series, I feel like pretty good success.
Yeah.
Parking lot quite full every day. Lots of cash games going on at the same time. But as far as the overlays, was that sort of expected?
I guess we really didn't know what to expect exactly because, like you said, this was the first one. And it was something that was different. It was bigger. All the tournaments, the buy-ins were bigger. The guarantees were bigger. Mm-hmm. So prior to this, I don't think, overlay wasn't something that came up that often in, like the regular daily or weekly tournaments. And so, no, I don't think we were expecting many overlays, but we were just going to see what happens. And there was definitely going to be some learning experiences because we were going up against some competing tournaments and series that were going on in like neighboring states as well. So, there was for sure going to be some learning experiences and things to take away for when we want to do another big series. So yeah, even though like there was some overlays in some of the events, some of the bigger ones, but it's not really like it's not ideal, but it's not like devastating or anything because there's cash games going, there's other events that are going on simultaneously and earlier in the month and later in the month, and yeah, life goes on. It's okay to return some of that.
So you're not ordering food stamps. You and Doug and Brad aren't in the soup kitchen line just quite yet.
We don't need to run a Save the Lodge meetup game just yet.
I'm relieved.
But I mean, it's like I'm sure players kind of dig it if they end up registering an event and there's extra money in there. Return a little of that value. So It's all good.
I think there were two overlays that got attention. The first one being the $800 event was looking to have quite a big overlay, 6-figure overlay. And then on the last day, they needed like 500 players. But miraculously, everybody who was up in Choctaw playing that event drove down to Austin. And rather than get settled in their hotel room, they all fired to try to take advantage of this overlay. And y'all ended up making the $750K guarantee. So that was pretty fortuitous.
Yeah, there was a late rally there. So that was cool.
I can take a little bit of credit.
You
just like a little bit. Like there were at least like 50 or 60 people that were coming down from Choctaw that were just going to like sleep in their hotel, but now they were aware.
You motivated them.
You did help spread that message.
I did get the word out. Mm-hmm. If y'all want to know what the hell we're talking about, you can go to Twitter. No freebies.
So we're not going to talk about it.
We can talk about it. You want to talk about it?
Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Do we feel like any of the attendance in any of these tournaments was reduced by any body shaming by a fellow owner, or no?
I doubt it. I haven't heard from anyone who said that they were going to come, but then
that'd be a weird reason to skip a poker tournament. But
I mean, people might maybe it hit a nerve with somebody. I guess I could see it happening, but I didn't hear of it happening.
I know one person at this particular table that has struck a small nerve, at least with. And so,
yeah.
Like, honestly, I don't want to get too into it because I was very public about my opinion on both Twitter and my YouTube vlog. I don't care if someone has an unpopular opinion that thinks, bigger bodies aren't beautiful or shouldn't be uplifted. The problem that I had was just that, like, when you're the owner and the leader of someone, you're going to have to be looking those lodge employees in the eyes now. You're going to have to be looking me in the eye, and I have to play against you knowing that you have that like really callous and cruel opinion about me. I just think it's bad manners. And that's what I said on my vlog. That's what I said on Twitter. And, to Doug's credit, he literally sat in the break room. I heard from other ladies that work at the lodge that he sat in the break room and he let them, speak their piece about it. And honestly, I have more respect. If you want to have a shitty opinion, but you're willing to look the people that you hurt in the eye and take ownership of that,
right, then
honestly, you've won my respect. And I told Doug that to his face yesterday when I saw him before we played the stream on Wednesday, or I guess it was Monday. And so I honestly think there was kind of a beautiful resolution to it in the end. And we got a lot of laughs out of it along the way. And people get to troll Doug that, he had to eat crow for once. So
yeah, for sure. And that's going to happen. He's like he's never going to shy away from controversy, and he's going to share polarizing opinions sometimes. And I don't need to stand up for him or anything. And I think I think it was a little bit of a misfire. He definitely walked some of it back at least. And yeah, I don't know. I'm glad that there was a good resolution, at least between the two of you.
Yeah, no, I gained a lot of respect for him, and I'm happy because, like, when I first heard those comments, I was like, well, shit, I spend a lot of my time unpaid promoting the lodge, creating content around the lodge, and I don't like the way this makes me feel, and I don't like that I actually do play with him, a few times a year now, and I don't like that I have to be confronted with that, but, I said my piece, he said his piece is...
Sometimes
that's the Texan in me. I'm like, okay, done. On to the next,
Yeah.
Sometimes the uncomfortable conversation, you kind of learn after the fact that you're better for having had it, even though it's like an unfortunate thing that was spoken about. You can kind of come to an understanding. It's kind of like talking politics these days is just such a lose-lose. But if it's someone that you actually care enough and you disagree, it's like, let me just help you understand where I'm coming from on this issue. And then we don't have to agree. But at least you'll understand why I feel the way I feel rather than guessing why I feel the way I feel.
Yeah, for sure. There's a lot of times there's like so much nuance that's lost in especially on Twitter the Twitter platform where it's very short form content and thoughts and stuff. And it's like, there's not an actual dialogue and conversation that's going on.
Yeah.
And I will say it would have been a lot easier for me not to participate in the conversation and just to not comment on it and speak about it privately, but not be public about my opinions. But I honestly felt that I've worked very hard to be a leader in the female poker community here in Texas, and that they're not necessarily a responsibility or an onus on me. But I was like, if I don't say these things, who is going to say them? The lodge employees don't have that platform. What other woman in Texas poker has a platform to say that's not okay to treat us like that? And I felt like I was the only one to do that. But it wasn't comfortable.
The fact that it came up probably helps in the long term, right?
Yeah.
Because it came up, it allowed for discussions and civil discussions, not just like fuck you kind of discussion. Nobody's like throwing the bird at the other or anything like that. It's just like, hey, why did you do that? That's kind of shitheaded. And it's like, you know what? It is a little shitheaded, but here is why I said it. And this is kind of what I meant, what I didn't mean. And I mean, at the end of the day, it's probably better for having been talked about.
Yeah.
But I do believe my mom was right yet again. My mom has a saying, opinions are like assholes. Everybody has one and most of them stink.
Yeah.
I've heard that before.
Yeah.
Maybe it's not her saying, but
No.
she says it a lot.
It's okay. There are a lot of guys out there that like big ladies. We don't absolutely have to have Doug Polk. We wanted him on our team. You know, we wanted him. I think we would have shown him a great time. I think he would have really enjoyed himself, but that's okay, Doug. It's okay. We respectfully, we accept your pass.
All right. I'm going to pound my gavel on that. We're settled.
Settled. Moving on.
Andrew, I wanted to talk a little bit about your relationship with Boosie. Something that's come up on the podcast a bunch of times is just seems like with our guests, like everybody seems to have this support structure in their poker career, which really, really helps a lot with, it's a career path that is probably easy to doubt at times, especially like on downswings.
Countless times there's been that doubt.
And it's so important to have someone that's just, hey, you're doing the right thing. Just keep going. You know, I've got your back. And it seems to be that way with Boosie. I haven't met Boosie, but
for sure.
We talk about her a lot.
Yeah. We, when we met, I discovered that she day trades the markets, and she discovered that I played poker, and there's so many parallels between those two. And so, yeah, she kind of understood that, there's going to be down days, and they suck. But it doesn't necessarily mean that you are, an overall loser in the pursuit. And she for sure understood the negative emotions and feelings and things that you can say to yourself, and battling through all those things. So yeah, I definitely got pretty lucky to find someone who was already up to something that is so similar to poker. But we can also step away from both of our things that we're so involved with, and just leave it there and do other pursuits and enjoy other things in life as well. But yeah, she's been for sure so supportive, both before I started the blog, and then once I started the blog, she was in charge of all the merch creation. So she's definitely multi-talented. She's got an awesome eye for design and style and fashion and all those things. So she was helpful in that way as well.
How do you let it go on a bad day? I'll ask Caitlin the same. I'll have you answer as well. But like on a really, really bad day, I always draw my parallels to golf. I'm a way better golfer than I ever have been a poker player. I don't really play a whole lot of golf anymore. But like when you go and you compete in a tournament and just have a complete flop, it's like you go home and it's like, I so badly want to just move on, and I want to go fly my drone, or like nowadays, like I just want to go and like play with my son and like whatever. That is my outlet now. Like having a son is just amazing, and literally it makes those hard things to let go super, super easy to let go. Great. It puts things in perspective. Yeah, so how do you does Boosie help with that when you have like a really, really bad day and just go home, and like how do you just put it in the rearview mirror and move on?
She knows, like she's got a pretty good sense about when to either just like let me be and just wallow in it, or to, like joke with me and try and shake me out of it. Like for me personally, I guess like the two things I might do are either try to get a workout in, or just take time. Like it's going to take me at least a day. Like if I have a really bad session, I just sort of expect that it's going to feel shitty for like the rest of the day. Maybe I'll wake up and feel better. Maybe not. Maybe it'll take like a little bit longer. Usually like the day after, once we go that full day, then it'll be behind me, and then just back to it, I guess. It's like people ask me that a lot. I get like DMs about it. How do you handle downswings and stuff? And it's, well, you just have to like keep going. You have to get back to the grind, but you also have to, take care of yourself along the way, and send hands to friends and fellow professional players. Make sure you're not exacerbating the issue with bad play, and having other people to run these things by is massive as well. But yeah, it's just a combination of things. You can do these little tactics to shake yourself out of it. It's going to take time, and some combination of those things.
I've told so many people, start tracking your play if you're not. Because if you're not taking the game seriously. But when you do track, that was always a comforting thing for me when I would get into like a little bit of a downswing, is go back and be like, yeah, so you lost X amount of dollars over the last 2 weeks, and that sucks. But you can see a green number over the last 4 years, 5 years, 6 years, however long you've been tracking. It's like, this is truly just a downswing. I'm not
Yeah,
I'm not losing money. I'm not going to lose my house over this.
You want to zoom out on that graph. And so you can see that it's the trajectory is like that, even though it's like when you zoom in, it's not all that pretty, but zooming out makes a huge difference. And then, I don't know if there's probably been like basically nobody who's just grinded on their own, like over years worth of time. I'm sure there's like pretty much everybody has had either fellow players, fellow pros, or a coach or something that they can get feedback from on their process and how it's going.
For
sure. How do you get it in the rear view, Caitlin?
So definitely along with Andrew, the self-care things that you got to do. Like, have I been exercising enough? Have I been meditating enough? That stuff should be like baseline. I'd say there are different types of losses. So if it's a loss where I truly do think I just got coolered, like last night, I just was coolered. I got 2 boats. I got scooped in a bomb pot. There are my 3 buy-ins. I don't need to continue. I go home. I go to bed. I often tell people it's easier to fall asleep after a losing session because you get so much adrenaline with winning, especially those large wins. Sometimes I have a harder time getting to bed and calming down in those situations. So for like a variance loss, you go to bed, you do a face mask, you brush your teeth, and on to the next. But like on a day like Monday, I played on the Lodge stream with Andrew, and I just played poorly. I made a lot of mistakes throughout. So in that case, it was really a matter of like facing the music and talking about why I made those mistakes. So that night I asked my coach if he was available to go over my hands and review. And we did that. And even though it was very uncomfortable to sit there and be like, why did you do that? What were you thinking? Why did you do that? It's like really important to get better. And it's really important to live in that uncomfortable spot to improve and to play my best the next time. Because a lot of mistakes I'm making on the stream these days are due to me being nervous that I'm playing on stream when I know what is correct to do. So in that situation, it was asking myself a lot of tough questions so that I can grow and actually like letting myself feel the pain of the loss. And it's not embarrassing. Like, I don't want to say it's like humiliating or shameful or embarrassing to lose, but I do think like to get, like, as Doug said in his tweets, like I didn't get better from being a limit player to the best heads up player in the world by like loving where I was at. So I do think that I agree with him on that point, that there's a fair amount of part of growing is living in that discomfort of failing and
there's
using
so
it to
much
fail upward.
Balance in success in any industry. It always comes down to taking risks and having discipline, which are kind of opposite ends of the spectrum. And that's where balance comes in. Is right.
Dialectical tension.
You got to assess your risk and decide which ones are worth taking, and they're not all going to work out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we have this group, the Hand History Lounge, and it's, I've mentioned it so many times in my videos. It's just like a small group coaching setting. There's so few people that are in there, and I think it's because it's so hard to put yourself out there and like put your ego at risk and have to say, this is how I played this hand, just lay it on me, tell me what I did wrong. It's like so different from just consuming poker blogs where you're just watching somebody else and kind of living vicariously through them. To go out there and play and share what you did and then be open to that criticism and that feedback. It's like such a significantly small number of people that are willing to do that.
What's hilarious is there's a huge parallel between that and my training as like an actor and a comedian when I was coming up in my previous life in entertainment, because you're going up, you're doing monologues, you're doing scenes, you're doing it in front of a group of your peers, and then your authority figure is giving you feedback in front of your peers. It's very stressful on the human body. It's like a lot of nerves coming through. And I just had a discussion recently with my coach that was like, listen, I haven't done this since I was at the Groundlings. And when I was at the Groundlings, that place is like rough. Like they dress you down. And I had one of their meaner teachers when I was in like the advanced level of the improv school. And it was just like boot camp, like emotional boot camp. And like the hilarious thing was I would go up and I would make the whole class laugh. And then he would yell at me for 10 minutes about like how unfunny and terrible it was. And I was like, but they were laughing. Okay, whatever. But yeah, it's really hard to like stand on the soapbox and take feedback.
I couldn't do it. I just couldn't do it.
Improv comedy or just like getting feedback on a performance?
Both.
It's weird. It's like acting school and comedy school. It's very much like break you down to build you back up. And I definitely think that the current poker coach I'm working with has that sort of same, like we're gonna build you down to build. And I'm like, oh God, here we go again.
I mean, that stuff must have helped you like prepare you a little bit, at least for this.
100%. I'm still a softie. I've been doing it for like 3 decades now, but I'm still a little softie.
I get that nervousness when I play on live streams, though, for sure. Like, I think there's different types of people that go play on these live streams and how they react to that. Some people just play their usual game and like barely even think about the fact that it's being live streamed. And then there's me, where like I'm like, oh shit, do I need to play more hands so I'm more entertaining? Do I need to not make this fold so I don't look like a nit? Do I need to do this so that I don't, give away too much money? It's like all this stuff gets in my head. Whereas other people, they just play their game and it's like, whatever.
And if you want to stray from theory and like make an exploitative play, it's like, oh, this is for the whole world to see and make fun of me for if it goes badly.
Yeah, like I have this read. Like I have this read on this guy. I'm gonna like make a super light call, but then I'm just gonna get eaten live if it's wrong.
Oh, quads? Yeah, that's good. Actually, quads are good. You win.
Yeah, so live streams are definitely not my strong suit, but
it's refreshing to hear you say that because I definitely am in the same boat with you. We
just got to get on that Lodge Live more often, and we'll get in the zone.
Yeah, we got to desensitize ourselves,
make it normal,
right?
Make it feel normal.
Gosh, no, we're 0 for 2 together. We've both lost on both the streams we've played, right?
I won on one of them.
You won on Monday?
Not that one. I won on the previous one.
The one that you just
released.
You
wrecked me in the first one.
Yeah.
I played again and I won.
Oh, I was just talking about the ones we did together.
Oh, together.
Sure,
together.
You exist when I'm not there too, I guess.
That's true. Yeah.
Pretty small sample size, but maybe just don't both play at the same time.
Yeah.
Clearly it doesn't go well.
Bad luck for each other.
100% we're mushing one another.
All right, Andrew, when I started watching your vlogs, I became a better poker player for one specific reason that is too embarrassing to mention. But I'm curious if doing your vlogs has made you a better poker player.
Why is it well, you can't just gloss over that.
Yeah, come on, Craig.
All right, so of course, always thinking of like pot size and like when I would have a value hand, most specifically on rivers, I'd have a value hand and I would basically just be like, all right, I'm going to bet half pot or third pot or quarter pot. I never really was like ranging my opponents and like, what will somebody call? How much will call and what hand are they holding and they're going to call?
Yeah.
Like
so you're just on like level 1. What do I have?
Yeah. Like some old man coffees, like they have ace queen and like you flop 2 pair and there's an ace on that board. Like you can size way up because like this guy's never folding an ace, especially in Texas, never folding an ace. Like, why are you betting 1/3 pot? Bet full pot. He's calling you. Like he is going to call you. And they're just like, I literally watched my win rate over those couple of years just go up. And I was like, what a dipshit to not think about what your opponent has when you're trying to extract value.
Well, I mean, I think that's a big reason why, not to, I know you had a question there, but I think that's a big reason why the poker vlog did well is because it was somebody that was walking through a street by street basis of a poker hand where so many people didn't really have that sort of a discussion like with their friends about poker hands. They might just like, they're just either gambling or it's they like kind of like you said, they're thinking on a very level 1 basis. And to see someone like walk through it in a manner that I had walked through so many hands with my friends, talking about all these poker hands as we're trying to get better. And it's at stakes that they're playing or close to stakes that they're playing as well. I think that's a big reason why the vlog did well. Yeah,
for sure. And there's enough like art and like drone shots and stuff mixed in to make it easier to consume versus like
a training video.
Yeah, I watch Doug Polk stuff too because I love poker. But for someone that's moderately interested in poker, Doug's getting like really, really into the weeds and taking 15 minutes to break down one hand. I found it interesting, but I think that's a much smaller audience.
I mean, Doug's videos, they did really well. The poker hand videos, they do really well. But it's funny because I've seen like comments on his videos where they're like, Doug, just stop talking. Just play the hand. They just want to see what happens. Yeah. Even though it's supposed to be like an analytical hand.
Sometimes he would troll himself in the videos, which are really funny because he goes through this whole long strategy, whatever. And he's like, yeah, so I mean, just plow river. It's going to work every time. And he like checks and checks back. He's like, fuck.
Yeah, but I think Doug's videos were probably at least some of, if not the best, free like poker hand analysis stuff when he was making those poker hand videos, cranking those out.
For sure. So did vlogging make you a better poker player by kind of reviewing your own process on a kind of more elementary level?
Yeah, for sure. It definitely helped me. It made it, it made me more accountable, and it just kind of put it out there. Obviously you're gonna get so much feedback from so many people that think they know what's up when they haven't put in that much work. Poker, when you can see the cards and you see the results, it's easy to like suggest something, and even though they're not that studied. So that's going to be like 95% of the feedback that you get, but you can kind of discern like who knows what's up and who's done some work by the way that they give the feedback and like what they're talking about exactly. And so there has been like a bunch of comments where they make a suggestion and be like, oh, that's actually, that's pretty good advice. Or, like one of my friends or fellow pros will, message me about a hand or something, and it's been super beneficial. So yeah, just like putting all that stuff out there to more and more people for sure was beneficial.
What about you, Caitlin? 2 vlogs in.
Has it made me a better poker player?
Are you improving?
I mean, I am improving because I've taken on a coach that I meet with several times a week, and I've been studying a lot more seriously in the last 2 months, but I'm definitely on that learning curve where I still make a lot of mistakes and there's a lot of reinforcement and repetition necessary. I'm kind of doing a different thing with my vlog. I pretty much said straight up, like I'm going pretty light on the hand histories. I don't think that's something unique I have to offer to the poker space. I'm not that studied. I don't run my own solver. I don't think I have that value to add to the community, but I do think I'm pretty funny and entertaining, and I live a pretty hilarious
your hand
life.
histories,
so that's kind of what I'm bringing to the table.
Your hand histories would be lame because you're a woman. You only play the nuts. I mean, everybody knows that.
Just fuck all the way off. I get caught every time I run a zero equity buff on stream, and I think you know that. No, I mean, I do have hand histories in my vlogs, but like, for instance, so I played the $800 750K, and on the second bullet I was like on the Poker News stories as like one of the chip leaders. Like I had a really healthy stack, and the first time I ever made a Poker News article was punting with 1 pair. So I break down that hand on my episode, and I'm like frustrated and I'm cursing, and like, so I try to do it like a little differently, but like, yeah, it's more like the emotional experience of being caught punting with a 4-liner to a straight for all the chips, 2 big stacks like tangled up in a hand together. I missized my 3-bet, and I don't lie about that on the vlog. Like pre-flop, I completely fucked up the 3-bet. I made it like he opened to 2.5 blinds, and I like made it like 6.5. Like I just made an arithmetic error. My lord. Yeah. So yeah,
that's one of the things I love about Brad's vlogs is he doesn't shy away from like the self-deprecation. He just will wear it. And it's funny. I mean, people relate to that. People really like that.
The hilarious thing was like I had a 200K stack at the beginning of that hand. I was playing very well that day, and I kept like eyeing where the Poker News reporters are. Like TJ is one of them. I know who they are. Like I was like eyeing them, and I was like, and every time I won a big pot or like eliminated somebody, I'd look up and they're not there, and I'm like, damn it. And then like the minute this hand goes down, like here's homie with his little notepad, like ready to get the deets right. And so I ended up apologizing him to the next day because I was so fucking tilted and annoyed, and I was like, this was a 3-bet pot. I want you to, because he called me with 4-7 because I fucked up the size. First time in Poker News punting with 1 pair.
I like how you called it a Poker News article. You made it sound like they wrote up an entire piece about how you fucked up this one hand.
Was I supposed to say a blurb? It's one of their little updates, little blurb update.
Yep.
It was an article that fuck up in Texas. Kaylin Kamesky.
Long form piece.
Andrew, you have a patch on your shirt.
Hey, what do you know? What do you know?
Fairly new patch. Do you want to talk about that?
How about that? The World Poker Tour, a new partnership in the life of
There's
myself.
other patches here. We'll talk about those after. But tell us about this patch.
Yeah, so been in discussions with the World Poker Tour for a little while about maybe linking up and seeing ways that we can work together. And as of just yesterday. Yesterday, just made the announcement yesterday to the public that new WPT ambassador. So yeah, pretty excited about it, to say the least. This is like been something that I've been working towards basically ever starting the vlog. Was to eventually do 1 or 2 partnerships like this where there's a company that would be able to, provide some resources and do some things together. And that way the content always remains free to the people. So rather than putting up a paywall and using that model and charging people for this poker content, I always wanted to just build the audience as much as possible through the free content model, and then eventually find a good company or 2 to work with.
That's pretty cool. You mentioned in your most recent vlog, I watched it last night, and I was just thinking about, like, you mentioned the Travel Channel, like when WPT first, I think I heard an ad for it on the radio, and I was like, oh, that's fucking sick. It's like the World Series of Poker, but all year long.
Yeah.
And I mean, I had to like figure out which channel was the Travel Channel back then because I didn't watch it for anything else. But I was like glued to WPT stuff.
Yeah.
I just thought it was awesome. I've been to a couple of WPT final tables, like back when Nick, drawing a blank on his last name.
Nick Schulman.
Yes. His like breakout win at Foxwoods. I went to college in Connecticut and I was like right there. And I was like, I'm going to go watch this final table. I bet it's super cool live. And if you're not a poker nerd, it is not super cool live because there's like a lot of folding.
Yep.
But their edited version of it is like must watch TV.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was like his breakout win. He won like $2 million. He was 21 years old.
Yeah, that was a big reason for myself getting into poker, was stumbling across those episodes on TV back in the early to mid 2000s. And it's been such like a storied brand and a reputable brand. And, you know, it's hard to find a brand like that over this long of a time span in poker where nobody's been like really unhappy with them, you know.
I think there's pretty much two: the World Series and the WPT. That's kind of it.
There's not that many, so it's awesome. Like you know, obviously the legacy that Mike Sexton left when for as long as he was with the company, and there's so many cool people that are working there still. So yeah, it's a bit of a dream come true, honestly.
That's cool. Well, congratulations on that. That's
Thanks,
cool.
man.
It's cool to see
awesome.
the trajectory. Another question I had was, you seem to use your platform for good a lot. And I'm just curious if you have any things on the horizon, things that you haven't done yet that you have plans for.
I wouldn't say like major plans, but like the video that your co-host Caitlin and I did along with our other friend Brendan was a really fun one, where we set a goal to win $500 to just give it away to somebody, some random person. And that was really fun. I feel like a lot of times in poker content, like with these vlogs or even like tournaments, like in the high roller tournaments that content gets made out of, you don't really get any sense of like what the money means to anybody. You know, there's like all these sessions that get played by the vloggers, and it's just kind of like this ongoing never-ending story, it feels like. And it's like, what does this money mean to anybody? So when you can give it to somebody else and you see that reaction that we got out of the person that we gave the $500 to, that's like, you can tell, okay, this is like really meaningful. You know, we play poker and it's like money comes and goes and you sort of lose a sense of how you know, the value of the dollar and all that stuff. But when you can kind of close that circle, close that loop at the end of the video, I think it's pretty fun. So I would love to do more stuff like that.
And it was sort of hilarious, the instant good karma boomerang that we got, that Brendan and I both final tables the event the next day.
That's what it's really all about, you know?
I mean, I just want the karma.
Yeah, exactly.
So in lieu of a top 5, I had a funny idea, a cool idea, but Andrew has to be okay with it. Mm-hmm. How do you feel about lightning rounds?
No, Pat. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it.
Hard pass. These are going to be, you're going to have 2 options. You got 5 categories, 5 questions in each category. So the first one, the answers are you or Brad. Okay. Some of them are hypothetical. Some probably have factual answers.
Okay.
So first, and you have to snap answer. This is like snap fold, snap call. Like you're not, no thought involved. Just like it's like a Rorschach test. The first thing that comes to your mind. Okay, you or Brad, more followers on Instagram?
Brad.
Okay. Higher win rate at the lodge?
Brad. I'm a
Okay.
losing player. He's not at the moment.
First to get a 6-figure score?
Neither, but me eventually.
Okay. Who wins an arm wrestling match? Too much thought.
Close. Probably Brad because he's taller and a little bit bigger, but
Who has better hair?
me.
Okay. All right. Do you agree with all the answers?
100%. 100%.
Okay.
There you go.
Next category, me or Caitlin? Who won more money playing poker last week?
You.
Me?
Yeah, Craig.
I think
How much did you win?
like $400.
Well, what date frame are we talking about here?
I mean, the last 7 days.
The last 7 days, I'm down $2K.
I win.
Over 7 days.
Wow. That's ballsy.
No, over
going
7 days.
Caitlin.
No, I think I'm even. I
still win. I'm plus.
Yeah, I just knew that you had like
positives.
a bad session or two. So
Okay. Who lives closer to the lodge?
You.
Yeah.
Craig.
Yeah, it's not even close. Who is funnier?
Caitlin.
For sure. Who's more charitable?
Oh, I don't know. Even.
No, it's Caitlin.
Oh.
Caitlin by miles. She's one of the most generous people I know. Who sleeps more?
You, Craig.
I have a toddler. Okay. Terrible answer.
What about pre-toddler life?
Probably me. Yeah, probably. Okay, next category. True or false? Whataburger is better than In-N-Out.
Probably false.
Ooh.
Fuck that.
Shots fired.
I'm not like a huge. I'm not a huge In-N-Out fan. I think the burgers are good. The fries are not good.
Correct.
Shakes are probably pretty good.
The sauce is like the best thing they have going for them.
Yeah,
They're kind of shy about it.
I don't know where this like massive I need to get in and out every time I'm out west thing comes from. It's not a big deal to me.
It's just one of those like exclusivity things, I think.
Sure.
But now you can get it here, so it's like, what's all the fuss about?
Yeah.
Have you tried Whataburger?
Yeah. Once or twice. Didn't.
Nah.
Nah.
Their fries are better.
I feel like the portion
That's not hard.
sizes are too big for
I'll
Mr.
give you
LA
one
over here.
Whataburger tip for your next visit. There's not a single sandwich that they make that is better on a bun. Just go for the toast, no matter what. Like if it already comes on toast, you don't need to add it. But if it comes on a bun, like the burgers, anything. Someone pointed this out to me one time, and I was like, "That can't."
I feel like it's good.
That's true. That's accurate.
I feel like it's going to shift it from like a 5 to like a 5.5.
Oh, fuck. Haters on the Whataburger. Okay.
Texas get canceled on the Texas poker audience.
Yeah, I mean, shots at Whataburger. Why don't you just shoot Ladybird in the face?
Yeah. Did you see that?
I'll Google that later.
Ladybird Johnson. That's what our wildflower center is named after. It's what the lake is named after.
Yep. That's what I would learn by Googling it.
True
Lyndon
or
B's
false?
wife.
Texas barbecue is the best barbecue.
True, I guess.
Nah, that's not true.
No? Where do you get better?
Kansas City is like kind of like widespread known as like the best barbecue.
Yeah.
But Texas barbecue is pretty good. Depends where you go. Money won is sweeter than money earned.
So I'll say true.
What do you think on that one, Caitlin?
Well, sweeter. Sweeter's an interesting descriptor.
I want to say earned. Because
I'd be prouder of myself earned, but it probably takes less time to win it.
You definitely don't feel as bad
sweeter,
fucking the money
when
off when you've won it.
I don't know.
Okay. Bad beat stories are the nut low. True or false?
I'd say mostly true. I mean, I get a kick out of them once in a while. I'm not like, never talk to me about a bad beat story.
I'm so desensitized now. I'm like, bro, 3-outer, fuck off. That's not a bad, like, Jesus Christ. Come on. We all play poker here. Double board bomb pots are better than single board bomb pots.
True.
Absolutely true. Okay. Next category. Over or under?
All right.
Okay. Here's the line. Line first, subject second. 0.5 casinos in Texas.
Oh, I guess over.
Over. There is one. It's like way south. It's on the border, and I believe
there's just one.
Yeah, and I believe they close at midnight. I've never been there. I've heard it is quite a joke, but yeah, it's like I think
you know what it's called?
It's called Lucky Eagle Kickapoo Lucky Eagle Casino. Okay, $12 over under Doug's win rate at the lodge per hour.
Over now, I think.
Oh, I think it's close. I mean, it's been like months, and
did you not even research your own
just got
question?
in the black. I mean, that one's up for debate.
I'm not sure how much he's up.
Okay, next line. 8.5 number of drones I have owned.
I guess under.
God, it's over. It's 9.
Dang,
It's
9 drones. Wow. I've owned 3.
3 drones.
On my 3rd.
Yeah, you're way in the black on that. I mean,
I bet y'all are getting the sweetest aerial shots.
I've crashed a few. I had one fly off on its own. That was pretty fun.
Dang.
I was with my girlfriend, wife now, but girlfriend at the time, and she's like, "Where did it go?" I'm like, "I don't know."
And it's just gone.
Yeah, gone. Gonzo. Number of craft breweries in Austin. The line is 60. I know you're kind of a craft beer guy.
I guess under.
It is under. Nice call. 58.
Ooh.
Still a lot.
That is a lot. We got a lot of places to go.
Between you and I combined, number of times we've been felted by Caitlin, 3.5 is the line.
I'll take over.
Yeah, it's over. I think I'm over by myself. I just always think she's fucking with me. I'm like, oh, you don't have it here. You don't have it. I got a pair.
I mean,
There's no way.
I just figured you guys
it.
have a decent amount of history, and that's not a very high number for
Most
a lot
of
of
the history at the table, I'm in the box. But like when I'm playing, that's why I'm just assuming I'm like, she is just capitalizing on an opportunity here. She's just trying to scare me off a hand. She's going to show me 9 high.
Did you felt me or double through me in our hand?
I felted you.
Okay.
You had a set of 8s. And
I thought so, but I was just checking.
You didn't have to dig real hard to stir up that memory. You seem to know.
We talked about it on our podcast already. It was a big moment in my life.
Okay, last category. Austin or Las Vegas? More people.
Austin.
Austin for sure. More diverse.
I don't know. I guess I'll try Austin.
Super close, but it's Las Vegas. Both maybe the 2 most diverse cities in the U.S. When I did the research on that, I was like, holy crap. Couldn't believe it.
Fascinating.
Pretty incredible. Probably the only city in Texas you're going to find that sort of diversity. But more married people by percentage.
Austin?
Las Vegas. Surprised the crap out of me.
I wonder, is the average age younger here or something? Or more young people?
The average age is a little bit younger here.
But yeah, we got like Summerlin, Henderson people.
We got all these old spinsters walking around.
More snowfall per year.
Tough. I guess I'll say Vegas.
Trick question. It's actually exactly the same. 0.3 inches.
This nerd. I can't even.
Who's enjoying
Andrew?
this the most, do you think, right now?
Craig or Craig.
Who has better poker, Austin or Las Vegas?
Austin, obviously.
There we go.
Yeah.
Not even close.
I mean, yeah, it is wild. I mean, I guess depends maybe on the...
I mean, there's a lot of tournament series in Vegas. It has that going for it. It's easy to like get from room to room in Vegas. It's easy to casino hop and game select a little bit. But I mean, just overall health of the cash games in Austin is just a different scene.
Too.
Speaking of the cash games in Austin, let's talk about the structure changes that y'all recently made at the lodge. I know you got some pushback.
Which version do you want to talk about?
Which version?
It's an ongoing situation here.
2.0A.
Yeah.
There's a very loud minority, but I think most people I've talked to in town are in favor of it, if I may.
I think that's probably
the
true.
people that are angry about it are the ones whose win rate is going to go from 300 to 150. You know, and now it's a group of 7 dudes that have strong virgin energy, and I don't think they need to make all the decisions in Austin. I'm just kidding, y'all. I love you if you said anything to me about it. I wasn't talking about you, obviously.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think the most recent iteration of these changes is a reasonable one. You know, we're kind of somewhat met in the middle after a couple different changes. Yeah, it's just a question of like, you know, it's tough because we want to obviously make this thing as sustainable as possible for everybody. We don't want people running out of money too quickly because then there's no more games. And that's the impetus for the changes in the first place. And, you know, the players in Austin, they haven't had to worry about that because these games, these rooms are relatively new compared to other cities. And so it's not even like on the radar that would be an issue, I think, for a lot of people. And there's so many people that are in these metropolitan areas in Texas. These are pretty sizable cities. So yeah, like I said, it's just not really a thought for most poker players that the games could die and, you know, we could lose this and people might run out of money and not come back or something. So yeah, I mean, the games are still pretty deep. The 1-3 is 1K max buy-in. It's a pretty deep 1-3 game.
I love how angry everyone is about it. It's like it's 1K, bro.
Take off the fucking training wheels. I can only buy 1,000.
It's pretty deep. And the bomb pots are back in the 1-3. That was another issue for some folks. And I mean, I thought I think that's a pretty fun idea, capping the bomb pots, you know, so it's like you don't have to be so worried about losing your stack. You know, get it in, see what happens, run it out. I would like to see like a more a more gambly version of that. Like I would just like to do a flip or something where I don't have to think
like
about
a
these bomb
racehorse.
pots. Yeah, it's just do like every 30 minutes. Let's just do a flip. Everyone toss in $100 or something.
No, back when I was working at Palms and I was organizing 2-5 games that ran rather deep, we would do double board Omaha on the Orbit, but I capped them at 1,500, and that was a Palms wide rule for all our big games. And we did it because we don't want a 30K bomb pot in the first 30 minutes to close the club for the evening. Like, it's not rocket science.
Yep. Yeah. So just trying to, find the balance, of course. There's definitely going to be pushback. Anytime you make a change, there's, of course, going to be pushback. And you can never make everybody happy with these things. So
what gets lost in the shuffle, no pun intended, what gets lost in the shuffle with something like that is people fail to realize everybody has their complaint or their support of the issue, whatever the issue is. But people seem to forget that it's like, this is a business trying to accommodate their customers using data
from the customer.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like, well, you talked, we listen. And when you look at it in the grand scheme of things, like we said, I mean, it's still very deep. I think most of these changes are well within the Overton window. I don't think anybody's like too pissed off and like, this is so ridiculous.
And
like
to the 2-5 players complaining about the cap, then it's like, well, if that's too capped for you, then I guess it's time to move up to 5-10, BB. I'll see you there. Me, Pierre, and JC, you want to come sit with us? Like, come on. You like that? The uncapped game is still available to you, honey. Seat open. You want to play with me and Casey and Bones and Boots? We're happy to have you. Happy.
All the shout outs right there.
Sorry.
Something about Texas poker players, they like real low blinds and real big stacks and lots of straddling.
It does.
But they just want the blinds to start small.
It does change the game quite a bit. You definitely have to alter your play or be ready for massive variance. But you definitely have to alter your play. And it's funny to see people that come here and don't alter their play at all and just wear it. I mean, they just absolutely get worn out. And it's the opposite here. You have people that play here all the time and they're very, very good playing these like unbelievably deep low blind cash games, and then they go to Florida for a tournament series and they go to play some cash and they just get wrecked because people are actually playing ranges there, or they go to Vegas and get absolutely wrecked. It's like you have to adjust for where you are, and people fail at it.
Yeah, Brad and I, we were pretty shocked at what was happening in these games. The first time we came out here for the meetup games, discovered it was a very special scene that was happening out here, and it didn't go well off the bat in our first trips, but got them back a little bit here and there.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to get wrecked by some ugly 2 pairs to earn your stripes in Texas, as it were. I'm sure you've learned.
Yes.
So I would like to, before we get on to our final closing, catch up with some scuttlebutt around Texas poker news. The first of which is that there's been some more violent happenings. I've heard some stories of people being mugged coming home. And then I heard there was a story out of Legends, the club who's already seen a couple of shootings, that someone was robbed in the parking lot. And while they were being robbed, they did kill their assailant. So safety is quickly becoming more and more of a threat that we need to pay attention to in these card rooms, whether that looks like metal detectors in all the rooms, beefing up more security personnel. I mean, how do we move forward in Texas poker if we're going to continue? I mean, we are all armed. Good Lord.
I don't know that a metal detector is the answer. That only protects you while you're inside the club.
Okay.
I mean, you have the law is already there, right? Most, if not all of these clubs have the proper signage where, concealed carry, open carry is not allowed. The folks that truly don't have any ill intent probably ignore those. They are breaking the law to do that, but they ignore those. And it's like in a holster under their shirt and nobody's any the wiser unless you were to need it for some reason.
Mm-hmm.
I don't carry inside of a It
is technically illegal, y'all. There is signage that says don't do that, please, BB. Right. So no, you are breaking the law even if you have a concealed permit. I want that to be crystal clear. But in some of these
instances where you get followed home or you get mugged in the parking lot, the metal detector does nothing for you there, unfortunately. So I think people just need to be vigilant and really pay attention and like not lose sight of the fact that they're carrying large amounts of cash for chips or just, for someone that is desperate enough to try something. So
personal
like
vigilance is the answer. Taking control of your option to utilize using a locker at the club that you frequent, making sure you're not being followed when you're driving. What?
Yeah, I don't know if there's a perfect answer yet. If there is, we haven't figured it out just yet. Mm-hmm. But I've heard of people being followed home in Las Vegas as well. So I don't know if it's just necessarily a Texas only thing. I don't think it is, but I don't know. I don't know if there's a good answer. We definitely talked about the metal detector thing a little bit at the lodge, continuing to talk about that and different ideas.
The metal detectors aren't going to hurt anything. I just don't think they really are going to solve anything either.
Yeah, I mean, there's these two two thoughts processes. One is, put the metal detectors up. That way, you know, there's no one carrying, but then maybe people carrying inside prevents people from coming outside to either rob the place or rob people that are in the place because they know that people are carrying in there.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, also, if someone's coming out and you know for a fact they went in, so they don't have any metal objects on them, if you were going to rob them in the parking lot or something like that, you know they're defenseless at that point. Another weird thing is, like, I mean, even me, like, I mean, I have a pocket knife clipped in my pocket every single day. I work a lot. I use it 10 times a day. And that's like
You're
very
prepared
much...
to be in a knife fight, hand-to-hand combat?
No,
Good
I don't
Lord.
ever want to be in a fight with that knife. I use it to cut vinyl and cut felts on poker tables and like just rent, open boxes and stuff like that. But it's very much a Texas thing. A lot of guys in Texas just have a pocket knife. And what a pain in the ass that would be, like during a lodge series to walk in and have them be like, "Oh, you set off the metal detector because of your 3-inch blade pocket knife." Be like, I'm not going to rob the place with a 3-inch blade, guys. But now I got to walk 300 yards, 5 businesses over to get back to my car, to leave it in my car, and then just walk back. Kind of a pain in the ass.
Well, if you're a real man who can carry a real knife, maybe you're a real man who can make a extra round trip to your vehicle on foot, honey.
True.
You know what's funny? When I moved to Manhattan for college, I went to like a knife store to like buy a knife to arm myself because I'm 18 and a dipshit. And the guy at the counter was like, "Little lady, I'm not going to sell you a knife. You can have this pepper spray. It's $9.99." Like, he was like, "They're just going to use that against you. Don't shoot. No, ma'am. No,
I mean, along the lines of the same topic, like if lockers are available to you and you don't have to carry a lot of cash. I mean, if you have that, I guess one thing is, I mean, I don't know any details of this.
Yeah. And don't be shy. Ask for an escort.
In Houston. But the other thing is, like, let's remember at the end of the day, like, say you have $2,000 on you. Like, I mean, what is $2,000 going to change your life? Like that person has to get to sleep at night with whatever they've done. It's not worth either one of you dying over. Like $2,000. Come on. Just, you got to kind of keep in perspective. I think some people, they almost feel like if they don't fight back, they're not macho enough, or like, "Oh, I had to protect myself." He had a knife, and I'm like, he didn't want to stab you. He just wanted your money.
Just give them the money. Your family loves you.
Right.
Say that to all our macho Texas boys who listen. We love you. Please just give them the money. All right. So another thing I wanted to just dip in on Scuttlebutt Round Texas is that Abby J's is a club outside of San Antonio. It's a smaller room. They do a drop for a bad beat jackpot. That bad beat jackpot is ballooned up to almost 100K. I know the owner, Scott, is really anxious to get that prize distributed. So I think he's going to be having a week of events coming up. They have not been announced soon, so I'm not going to talk about any of the details here, but keep your eye on Abby J's announcing that, because he's going to have a huge week of events, and one way or another, that 100K is going to be out there. So keep an eye on that announcement. We'll keep you up to date on that, about the Abby J's bad beat. And then finally, last thing I was going to say is that Joey Ingram, we saw just right before the show, teased that there might be some Texas club coming under fire for illegal dealings. We were speculating whether or not maybe someone might be raking a game or someone getting caught for laundering. We don't know. So like TBD. Joey Ingram going to break the story.
Gonna have to stay tuned.
Never any shortage of drama around, is there?
That is one thing that comes with poker that's kind of unfortunate, but there's always drama.
For sure.
Always drama. The private games, the clubs, the online forums. There's always some kind of drama.
All right, team. We end each episode of Texas Poker Experience with a segment we like to call Harsh But Fair. In Harsh But Fair, we dress each other down with feedback that is harsh but also fair. We do our best not to give excuses for our feedback. You just accept your feedback, call and response answer. You say harsh but fair. Thank you. All right, Craigers, you want to go first today?
No, I don't want to go first. You go first.
You want me to go first? Oh, gosh.
I'll go first.
Oh, okay. An
we got someone that's prepared.
Heaven. Let's go.
Our last few guests are like, oh, I'm not prepared. I can't say anything bad.
Craig, you seem like someone who just generally and always has their shit together. It's very fucking annoying.
What a bluff.
Because I'm not the kind of guy who just always has his shit together. I have to get my shit together. And you make me feel bad about myself. You seem like you're the kind of guy who just knows what he needs to do and does it. I kind of know what I need to do, but then I don't do it. That's it. That's my harsh but fair.
I think that might be the best bluff I've ever run, but it is harsh and it is fair. And you can ask Caitlin about my neuroticism when things don't go to plan.
God, you're annoying.
Caitlin?
Yes.
You, on the other hand. Don't strike me like that. Is that kind of a person? However, you seem like, not seem like, you have so much raw talent, especially in person, like at the poker table, you have this way of just like riffing with people and like cracking jokes and then being real sharp and funny. And that's annoying because I'm like really quiet at the table. I express myself via video and stuff and finding music tracks to put on my vlogs. So I wish I was more, I wish I had your skill set. But it's annoying that I don't. It's just annoying being around you.
Thank you, Harsh but fair. Oh, that was so sweet. Thank you. All right, Craig, you next.
Okay. Caitlin, ever since your big score, I feel like you've kind of big timed me and like just too busy for me. You were nice enough to invite me to your birthday party, which I was 2,000 miles away from. So unfortunately couldn't make it. The commute was a little too much.
Strikes 2 and 3.
Okay. So then last night you mentioned that you're going to come to a game that I'm dealing. It's a private game. You used to come, not every time, but a fair amount. Mm-hmm. And I thought, oh, great. I love dealing when Caitlin's in the box or when I'm in the box and you're playing. It's just so much fun. It's like a blast. You definitely bring a light to the table. It's a lot funnier. And I believe I sent you a reminder text. I was like, hey, this game's like loaded with action. It's going to be awesome. Can't wait till you get here. But, you're definitely going to crush it. And it goes to 2 tables. You show up too late to get on the main, which I was dealing, and you're in the must move. And then I don't even know what happened, but I know that you never made it to the main table. So all you did was just dangle the carrot with a little bit of Caitlin at the table, and then just were like, hey, I'm leaving. Call me in the morning. Like, what?
Harsh but fair. I do want you to know I didn't lose bluffing because you told me not to bluff because the action was going to be good. I lost with boats. I was coolered and I didn't want to do it anymore. And I was too deep.
Does not sound very Texas, losing with boats.
Boats
oh
on
my
boats.
God. I was on a 10-10-8 board. I have 8s and, I'm blocking the hand he has. He has 10-8.
Wow.
What are you going to do?
What?
Painful.
Yeah, that's
What are you gonna do?
That's a cooler.
Yeah.
And I have $300. I'm not folding a boat.
No. I should hope not.
Fuck off.
Andrew, I am a particular fan of the favorable apparel. And it seems like every time I go on there, my size is not available. So I don't know if this is a critique of your buyer, if this is a critique of your audience being very average sized as I am, but I never seem to be able to find anything in my size. Now, when Brad comes out with some, it's like, you got a medium? It's like, yeah, what color do you want? I mean, it's like easy peasy, but I have a very hard time. I want to support the channel so badly. And then I'm like, oh, sick, new hoodies. And I go out there, I'm like, cool, that'd be really awesome if I had one I didn't swim in. So what can we do about that?
Okay, harsh but fair. Okay, and I'll hook you up. Don't worry, I'll hook you up next time.
Got the main line.
Yeah, you got it. You got
Nice.
Okay, Craig, your harsh but fair is that when you were a young, virile, single, attractive man in New England, where I'm pretty sure you're like an 8.5 in New England, confident.
Decades ago.
When you were a young, virile man on a weekend, rather than go pick up bad bitches, you decided to go watch Nick Schulman, a no-name at the time, at a final table at Foxwoods.
I did.
knew.
God, did you never get pussy? Good Lord. That was...
I tell everybody this.
Dang.
I tell everybody this. I have been laid 2 times. I have one child on the way and one child that is currently on this planet.
Congratulations.
You know what? Both times were awesome. Okay? Highly recommend it. Have sex,
great, man.
people. It feels great.
That's great.
You accept your feedback, sir?
Yes, harsh but fair.
No, y'all, that's an absolute joke. Craig is an absolute crusher. Have you seen him around?
Just slaying.
God, just slaying it at all times. I'm glad I didn't know him before. I would have been heartbroken, I'm sure. Jackie, you got a good one. All right. Andrew, your harsh but fair is that you've been way too kind and generous with me. You include me in your content and you're here doing my content with me. We're playing streams together. Like, I feel like you're my friend, and that's just very disorienting and confusing to me because you're a very big deal and a WPT ambassador. And I'm just like the silly lady that is funny at the table. So I am always blown away and humbled by you including me and coming and doing our podcast. I know that's not a very good harsh but fair, but fuck you. There you go.
We're not friends.
Oh, fuck, damn.
No, I'm just kidding. You're cool. We're good. Harsh but fair.
Thank you. All right, Craig, any closing thoughts?
Maybe just don't be a nit. Nobody likes nits.
Good job on this podcast, guys. This has been like my main go-to source for what's happening around here. And I've listened to every episode. I don't know if that was mentioned earlier. It's tough to like start a project. So good job on starting and keeping it going. And I hope you do.
Thank you. It's been, we've had our like small challenges, but nothing major yet, but definitely power through.
Starting, I think is the hardest challenge.
That took a while. We talked about it for a long time. And then, I had this concept and eventually it was during a game I was dealing and Caitlin was there and I was like, you've got personality oozing out of you. Like, let's do this. And she's like, yeah.
God, I would so much rather just be hot sometimes. Sometimes I would just so much rather be, oh, you're so funny. You're so delightful. Fuck you. I want to get laid. Fuck. Sorry.
Sorry. I didn't have that to offer, Caitlin. I'm sorry.
I'm so sorry. I just that was on my heart to say that.
Could you imagine if I was in the box and I was like, Caitlin, do you want to start a podcast or do you want some D? Which could you imagine?
Depends on the day, honestly. Like you're really like, what's happened earlier?
On another planet.
All right, y'all. On that note, big thanks to our production team at Donkeyfish Studios. Big thanks to Brendan and Jack, who do an amazing job. They make our podcast look and sound really good. So thank you to our team. Thank you to Andrew for joining us. Congrats again on your WPT ambassadorship. Your dreams can come true, children. That's Craig Sear. He wants you to not be in it. I'm Caitlin. I want you to remember to straddle. This has been the Texas Poker Experience.